All right, so we actually haven't talked much about ISIS over the last couple weeks because there's been all kinds of other news, and now obviously what just happened in France. But ISIS is still up to a lot of really, really awful shit. And of course, we are still in a war now in Syria that we have no congressional authorization over, but we don't really talk about that. But anyway, a couple of new images came out that I thought were pretty disturbing and the type of shit that people need to see to understand really what's happening there. This is ISIS. They are chopping off the hand of a man who stole some stuff. That's all. He stole some stuff, so they are chopping off his hand. And so you can see he's sitting in a chair. He's got a noose tied to his wrist, and that's how they pull the hand away after it's chopped off. Next photo. ISIS law demands that after a trial, a list of the criminal's crimes be read out front in a crowd of men who have been invited to watch before the punishment is carried out. So they're doing some chopping. It's pretty awful. There are unblurred versions of these, by the way. Yeah, we blurred this because we can't show it. It's really quite awful. Of course, here's the moment that they cut off his hand. Then next, yeah, this is just a group of people. I mean, this is just becoming the norm in the places that they control, that these types of public executions and mutilations and all this awful stuff. This was about a week before where a man was whipped for watching porn. So he's being publicly whipped for watching porn. We've got another one on that. And as is customary in the Islamic State punishment propaganda, the final photograph appears to be a stage scene where the victim is shown hugging the ISIS fighter who has just punished him as an act of forgiveness. So in a weird way, like as horrible as all the stuff that we're showing you is, that almost seems like the worst part of it. Like then they're like, oh, thank you for correcting my ways. So I guess my first question here is, this sort of goes to what I asked you in the France thing a little while ago, but does anything shock us anymore? We've already seen beheadings. We've seen videos of beheadings. We've seen literally heads on sticks. I mean, really horrific shit. And now this is just another extension of that, right?
That was shocking.
Yeah, that shocked me. I don't know what I'm going to do about it, but it definitely is like, what the shit are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, what is this accomplished? Move to the Islamic State. It's gorgeous here. We'll cut your hand off and smack you in the back in front of your mom for watching porn.
And you will thank us for it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's the parody that you should be doing,
Yeah.
is the tourism board for ISIS. Really, are you shocked by anything at this point?
Yeah, it was horrible. And also, you need to think about, I'm shocked that they think that this is going to stop people from watching porn. People watch porn, and if you look at the data, a lot of these countries are heavy consumers of internet porn.
Yeah, not only are they heavy consumers of internet porn, but I think our fourth most watched country for this show is Saudi Arabia, which I think is really kind of fascinating because they're so insanely repressed, even though they're apparently a big ally of the United States. We give them a lot of money. We do all kinds of security stuff with them. Sure, women can't drive or vote, but, you know, whatever. But they
Women can't drive here, am I right?
Yeah. So I'm going to take this one. You should. That could have been a
deserve that.
That
I
could
thought
have
it
been
was just a
stronger.
nudge.
It was just a slight push. It could have been a full, more smack mode. So with all the crazy shit that we have going on with our police here, and the authoritative state and all that stuff, does this kind of put it a little bit into perspective about how horrible the world is?
Yeah, it does put it in perspective. That doesn't mean we shouldn't stop fighting for
No, of course.
a more perfect union. But yeah, it does. I mean, it's like, I'm so happy that I live here,
Yeah.
I'm so happy that
Well, that's what I mean. Do we forget that a little bit? Of course, I'm not defending any of the surveillance state or any of that shit, which we relentlessly attack here all the time. But a little bit of that. Do we forget, that we actually do have it pretty good? Yes, it's a fucked up system. We have racial inequality and financial inequality and all that. But, it's pretty good here.
Right. It's like when you go to your Thanksgiving dinner and you're like, oh, my family's crazy. And then that one time you're out of town and you go to someone else's and you're like, no, these people are fucked up.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
I can't imagine anyone wanting to, what we have in America, hopefully, is a country people want to live in.
Yeah.
And that's, for all the shit that's messed up about it, we kind of want to make it cool.
Yeah.
It's like we decorate the place, make it fancy. But there it's like, oh, what is appealing about that? What is appealing about a place where they cut your hand off and you don't have a hand for the rest of your life because you stole something from Blockbuster? I don't know what the equivalent is. But I'm sure it's a Blockbuster equivalent as opposed to a Netflix equivalent.
Right. Do you have an answer for that? What is the appeal?
tourism, Brett.
Yeah.
But I don't know. For us, I don't know. We do have a prison system, but in that prison system, it's like we don't like cruel and unusual punishment because like tarring and feathering was weird.
We have serious problems with our prison system and the treatment of prisoners.
Absolutely.
But you know that does not diminish with the knowledge that there are horrible, disgusting people doing just horrible things to other people like that.
Yeah.
We are lucky in a sense, but that doesn't mean we should stop striving to always be better.
No, of course. I think that goes without saying that, of course, we can do better and we should do better and all that. But do you take, when you look at this stuff, like, to me, this is the irony of America. Like, everyone loves to hate us and we love to make fun of the system and all that. But without us, also, like, when shit goes down, everybody also wants us there. So is this like the ultimate irony of American life?
I mean, yes, that it is, but like there's also another interpretation of that where it's like, oh my God, America is that crazy neighbor with the gun. We don't want to have to go there at all. We don't want to. We don't want to have to talk to them. We don't want to invite them to dinner because they'll be like, we'll go shoot stuff in the backyard. Like, at least that's the perception of it.
Yeah.
So that still doesn't mean that, I mean, they need us because we got a big gun, but like it isn't necessarily everything about us that they like that led to that.
Right. All right, well, can we at least all agree that hand chopping off, bad? Whipping for porn, bad. Am I right, Kim Horcher?
That's right, unless that's part of the porn and you like it.